Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to MLS Journeyman with Zebu Nation. And we have done it. We have finally reached the end of the 2022 regular season with Inter Miami. And it's been a pretty good season with one game left to go. We have won the Supporters' Shield outright. Had an even better regular season than we had last year. 22 wins. 7 draws, only 4 losses on the whole season. Total of 73 points. Dominated the league. You know, our next closest competitor, Philadelphia and Atlanta United, with 61 each. Remember last year at the very last game, we had to sort of win the last game to win the league. This year, no such drama. Is just an outstanding year. We'll delve into that a little bit later. We got one game left to play, like I said, and we've had some interesting things go on. There was a lot of transfer hubbub when the transfer window opened, the summer transfer window, I guess you call it, but not a lot actually happened. We only lost one guy. Take a look at our transfer history. We lost Mackenzie Gaines, the youngster who came into his own this season. He moved to Monterrey, of all places. Monterrey got to see him up close in the Champions League, and I guess they really liked him. They got him for $1.7 million, kind of a bargain. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I sort of went on vacation for a little bit, and when I came back from vacation, he was sold, even though my specific instructions that I left were not to sell anybody. But you know, what can you do, I guess? I don't think he had a $1.7 million release clause. But I don't know exactly what happened. We did have a couple of other guys with release clauses, and some teams from China came in with big money, but they decided to stay. You know, a lot of our big time performers, really got a lot of attention. Shaq Moore, he's made the national team. I brought him up to the national team a couple of times. You know, people came after him. Yordi Reyna, Martin, Pellegrini, all those guys had offers from other places, and they all decided to stay for one reason or another. So I'm very, very excited about that. I think they wanted to win another championship, maybe go on a run and win MLS Cup. Maybe they're feeling good after winning Champions League. They want to keep the team together. We signed a few of them to new contracts as well, so that probably helped out. But overall, we got a pretty good team going into our final competition here, final game. Take a look at the schedule. Not quite the dominant ending to the season as last year. Remember, last year we went like 3-4 months undefeated. This year, U.S. Cup was again a disappointment. Second round this time. We actually managed to beat Orlando City 1-0. And then we lost to Miami FC, of all people, 1-1 on a penalty shootout. Had 2 critical missed penalties, and Miami FC snuck past us, got a little farther in the competition than we did. So that's the one failure we've had with Inter Miami, was the U.S. Cup. We just didn't do anything in there. But, we did win Champions League, so I guess that's the ultimate purpose of U.S. Cup, of the Open Cup, is to get that Champions League bid. And even though we never got it that way, we did win Champions League. Anyway, so we went on a pretty good run in July and August, and then some stuff started happening. Guys got called up. Several of our guys are getting called up to international teams, not just the U.S. team. I've only been calling a couple of guys up to the U.S. national team. Take a look at the U.S. national team. Take a look at our current squad, perhaps. So Trusty, we've been calling up. Sean Johnson's been playing great, so we've been calling him up. Shaq Moore, obviously, but that's it. Everybody else, on the team isn't really U.S. national team level. But, a few other guys have been getting called up. Yordi Reyna got a call up. Let's see. Pellegrini, I think, got a call up. And who was the other one? Oh, yeah, Soare. Interestingly, Soare got called up to the Ghanaian national team. And that's a team we're going to be playing in the near future. So if we go back to the national team, go back to our competitions, we did have our World Cup draw. As you can see here, World Cup, 49 days. FIFA World Cup. We got Group H. Not quite the group of death, but it is difficult with Germany and Poland in there. And then, look who it is. Guinea. They are going to be, the team to beat, honestly. 62nd in the world. They're the lowest rated team in the group. So we have to beat them. And then probably we need an upset of Poland, who are currently 16th in the world, but I think we can hang with them. We've gone up a little bit in terms of national ranking. We've gone up to 28th in the world ranking at the beginning of this cycle. So, as the new rankings came out, they re-ranked us. We were like 35th or something when we took over, so that's good. Got a little bit of an upgrade. You can see some of the teams in there. There's Peru. Beat them recently. Senegal. There's Poland. There's Mexico at 12. England at 10. Argentina at 8th. And then, the typical Spain, Croatia, Portugal, Belgium, Brazil, Germany, and France has taken over the number 1 spot. Now, if we look at our schedule, you can see we did play and beat Serbia 3-1. Drew Senegal 1-1, lost to Argentina 1-0 away. That was a pretty competitive game, honestly. We played well against Argentina. We just, couldn't get that breakthrough goal. Had a red card, I think. No, Morale. Yeah. Anyway, and then we bounced back with that 2-0 victory over Peru. It's a pretty good game. Sabechu with a goal, and Haji. Couple of, interesting names there. Sayad Haji, only 22 years old. Pretty good. I don't know that he's going to be a starter for us, but he's got nice pace and acceleration, decent mentals, decent technicals. He's an okay player, a good reserve type guy, but, if he keeps scoring goals, who knows? Who knows? So that's a brief USA update. I think we're going to get to today's match, and then we'll sort of go over the final end of season things. Now, I was going to go straight to the playoffs, but we do have a little bit of interesting information. I can't really find a way to reference it at the moment. There's an email in here some way, but if I go to my coach profile, joining LA Galaxy on 10/31. So the end of the month, we're going to be joining LA Galaxy. I signed a contract with them, did an interview, all that stuff. I've never coached the Galaxy, surprisingly enough, in any of my previous attempts at Football Manager. So we're going to see how sort of the premier team in the league, see how we go. LA Galaxy, they don't put up with it. They'll fire a coach any drop of a hat. They'll get rid of you. So we'll see how long that lasts, but that's fine for this kind of thing. So this will be our last year with Inter Miami. It's just a question of, will they let me finish out the playoffs before we go to the Galaxy? So we'll see. We'll see. Match preview. See, it's only October 2nd. Let's see what the schedule looks like. Calendar. Okay. So the 31st. Yeah, okay. So they will let us do the playoffs. Okay, that's good. So we'll finish out the playoffs. Got the under 20 World Championships, FIFA World Cup squad announcement. Less than 2 months. We'll be playing in the World Cup. So we're going to do a rotated squad. We're going to try to get our guys on the bench, a little bit of fitness before the playoffs begin. We're going to try to avoid injuries. Sporting KC, not in the playoffs this year, I don't believe. Guess we can take a look at them real quick. I guess I should have looked at the pre-match. Anyways, too late for that. Too late for that. They have Jop in goal. Bello on the left-hand side. 2 assists. He played okay. Shackleton. Luknovsky. Madrid. Sanchez. Tuluma. Reese. Saloui. Russell. And Plata up top. Plata, 8 goals, 9 assists. How's Johnny Russell doing these days? 7 goals, 4 assists. Okay. Saloui, 6 goals. So, interesting attack. So we got Martinez in goal, Baños on the left, Ceballos on the right. Ceballos has improved quite a bit this season. He's starting to make some moves. Shinosky and Suarez, the lone sort of starter. He's not really a starter, but look at that, 7 goals from central defense. He's so good on set plays. We just got to keep him in there. Williams, the rookie, 1 goal on the season, 8 starts. Norman taking the captain's armband, 4 goals on the season, has played very well, playing for the Canadian national team these days. Martinez on the left. Jesus, another rookie. Hejderovic on the right-hand side, 2 goals, 2 assists this season. Stewart, sort of the all-around guy, 3 assists and a goal in only 9 starts. And then Martin up top, 11 goals in 20 starts. So again, he's been our guy, not the full-time starter, but he's scored goals when we needed him. He's just not great in big games. So as long as we just play him in the I should have just sent the assistant. As long as we just play him, in these sort of non-important games, he can rack up the goals for us and then make do in the big games. All right. Let's check the highlights. I don't think we need... Yeah, we'll just go key highlights for this one. All right, here we go. Martinez. Are we going to have an early highlight? Some sort of early highlight here. Only 19 seconds in. Normally by this time the highlight goes away, but we're going to build something here. Norman to Stewart. Big tackle, but Norman's going to get it back. Very aggressive play from Sporting KC at the moment. We'll see if we can catch him. Shinosky downfield to Martin. Okay. This is a really big build-up here. Hejderovic wins the header. Martin uses his acceleration, gets past. Okay. This is the longest opening highlight I've ever seen. Sporting KC on the counterattack. Plata. Big tackle from Shinosky, but he's not going to get to it. Plata's going to get to it. Sends the cross in. Johnny Russell scores. Okay, boys. Got caught on the counterattack. That was, some good play from Plata. Good tackle from Shinosky, but nobody was there to take out the trash. Got to have a garbage man, and then our defense didn't realize that Russell was sneaking into the box. Lack of awareness there. Baños and Suarez sort of bumping into each other rather than paying attention. Baños physically is very good. Very aggressive. Determined type of guy. But not really the most technical dude you've ever seen. Valued at $1.9 million. That's interesting. Uh-oh. Oh, no, Suarez got an injury. Potential upper body injury. Okay, bring in Trusty. Well, that's not good going in the playoffs. That's what we wanted to avoid. The one guy currently on the field that was, a major participant, and he gets injured. I guess if Martin gets injured, that would be bad also. All right, Johnny Russell, 2 minutes in, gets the goal. Suarez injured. Okay. Let's give the old guys the old assertive pep talk. Show me something else in the second half. Let's go. Can't just let Sporting KC... I do want to go slightly shorter passing. All right, here we go. Sporting KC in the blues on the attack. Plata again around the defense. Crosses it to Johnny Russell. And he scores again. taking advantage of our fullbacks. That was Banos again. Just getting beat by Johnny Russell. So, he's up here. He's marking him at first. He's still kind of marking him, and he turns his back, loses awareness of the ball, doesn't even see it coming. Straight to Johnny Russell. Okay, not a great way to end the season here, but, the game doesn't really have that much of a meaning. Here's Plata again to Russell again. Off the post this time. Our defense is just sort of a step slow, that's for sure. George Bello looking around. His cross deflected. Hiderovic just has to clear it out of bounds. Oof. When you got a lot of guys who are lacking match sharpness playing in a game that's kind of meaningless for us. Plata's getting a lot of space. We'll close him down. Sure, why not? Yeah, not really what I'm looking for from our reserves. Now, we do have a roster problem. We've run into sort of the MLS bug, which I haven't talked about much. Here's Martin on the run. Great pass from Hiderovic. Martin cannot score, but that was our best attack of the game. The highlight continues. Nope, does not. Here we go. Corner. Far side for Sporting KC. Plata sends it in. Luknovsky on the back post. Easy goal to put Sporting KC up 3-0. So we've run into the problem where the MLS roster managers tell us we've got 30 players on the roster. But we do not have 30 players on the roster. We only have 22 on the roster. But we're unable to sign anybody else. I'm pretty sure that the reason it's telling us that we have 30 players is because we have a bunch of players that we sent down to Inter Miami 2, and it never unregistered them. So it's looking at them as being registered for MLS. Now, normally in other leagues, you can bring guys up between teams. Here's Bronico on the attack for Sporting KC to Russell. Oof, 4-0. Ouch. Abu Danladi racking up the goals. So normally in other leagues, you can move players between your B team and your A team, but it's not letting us do that in MLS. So it's telling us that we have guys registered, but we can't even move those registered guys up to the A team because it says you've already got 30 players. You can't register anymore. So you take a guy who's registered, try to take him from Inter Miami 2 to Inter Miami 1, and it just doesn't work. It just says you got 30 guys already, so you can't do it. So a little catch-22 going on with the roster. So we're going into the playoffs a little shorthanded in terms of roster depth, but all of our quality guys are there. So, yeah, let's be assertive. Simply put, not good enough. Not good enough. All right, not so good. Let me make sure. Has everybody played their games? Like, everybody's supposed to play their game on decision day, right? 34, 34, 34. Okay, everybody's got 34 games. So now we can take a look a little bit at the stats, see how we did, see how we won the league. And I think it's going to be pretty obvious right off the start. Most goals, I mean, we were just a scoring machine this year. 63 goals in 34 matches. That's pretty good. And then least conceded, we're tied for second with Portland. We would have been first, except we just gave up 4 goals to Sporting KC. So, bit of an anomaly there because of that final game. But we did have the best goals and also the least allowed until that final game. And that's pretty much how we won. It's pretty easy. If you score a lot and don't give up a lot of goals, you're going to win. Heading, 7th. So I guess we got better in heading this year. Cincinnati, number 1. Average possession, 6th in the league. Not quite as high as last year, but still decent possession, 53%. Look at New England, 63% on the season. That's pretty wild. Atlanta United, 54%. Pretty good. Best tackling, Atlanta United. They've got some really good fullbacks who are doing a lot of tackling apparently. LA Galaxy, 4th team to keep an eye on in these stats because that's where we're going. Again, least conceded. New England number 1 with all that possession. I guess it's hard to get scored on unless the other team hits you with a couple counterattacks. But they were able to avoid that for the most part. Most shutouts. San Jose, Toronto, Sporting KC with a shutout. Thanks to our final game there. Tied us with 16 shutouts on the season. Most fouls, Cincinnati. We're not on the list. Best passing, 3rd in the league, 85%. New England, as you might expect, 88%. So great passing and possession from New England this year. Atlanta United tops in cross. LA Galaxy, 3rd in crossing. And best shot accuracy, Vancouver number 1. Inter Miami drops to 4th. 50% accuracy. I'll take that. I'll take that any year. If you get at least 50% accuracy, in my opinion, you're doing very well. And so I think that's what increased our goals this year is just higher accuracy, combined with that high volume that we usually get, added to a lot of goals this season. Let's see. Individually, take a look at the player overview. Top goal scorer, Kyoto from Houston, Ola Kamara, 15 goals. Magnus Eriksson, also 15. Carranza, look at that, 14 goals. So he took over the leading goal scorer this year, 21 appearances. So he played a lot more in MLS, whereas Martin played more in Champions League, and he actually got the Champions League scoring title this year. Martin did, so that's pretty good. Christian Ramirez still hanging around, 14 goals in Orlando City. Adi still with Cincinnati, 14 goals. Arezzo, Furch for LAFC. Nobody for LA Galaxy. Most assists, Chacon from Real Salt Lake. Plata's up there. Martinez from Atlanta United. Carlos Vela sneaking in with 9 assists on the season. Pretty good. Most shutouts, Sean Johnson, 7th. He didn't play as much. He had 12 shutouts and only 22 starts. So more than half his games were shutouts. He just didn't play a full season, so he's not high on the list. Jake Gleason from Toronto. Interesting. Ryan Mera from FC Cincinnati, 14 shutouts. So he did his best for FC Cincinnati. Bello, most tackles, so played well defensively for Sporting KC. Let's see, nobody from LA up there. Okay, most dribbles, Tomas again from RSL. So dribbles and assists, I guess those go hand in hand. Reggie Cannon, a lot of dribbles for a fullback, I guess. Taking the ball and really running up the sideline. He's been playing for the U.S. national team a little bit as well, so he's he's had a good season. Key passes, Dylan Powers from LAFC, 31-year-old midfielder, getting the ball out to all those powerful strikers at LA. Nobody else really of importance. I don't care about any of those guys. Best at hitting the target, Kendall Waston from Cincinnati. So there's a little bit of a interesting, you don't expect a central defender to be number 1 on this list, but I guess, whatever. They must run a lot of set pieces for him, and who can blame him? He's pretty good. Like 18 or 19 jumping reach, 18 or 19 heading. So why not run a lot for that guy? Only 2 goals on the season, though. Dom Dwyer is up there. David Accam. Michael Barrios snuck on the list with 62% shooting. Yeah, so one last look at the competitions. So LA Galaxy finished 15th in the league. Did they make, let's see. What can we look at here? Let's look at Western Conference. How about that? They did miss the playoff. 9th place in the Western Conference. So a little bit of a rebuilding effort in LA Galaxy. Take a look at their registration here. 24 players. You know, I'm sure they've got some good ones. Giancarlo Gonzalez. Yeah. Sebastian Lletget. Sure. Yeah, you know, we'll see. We'll take a better look at LA Galaxy a little bit later. But they're not quite championship caliber team. They do have Alex Horvath on the bench. He's a guy that we've also called up here and there to the U.S. national team. Okay. Jonathan Klinsmann, 25-year-old goalkeeper. Interesting. I wouldn't take him over Horvath, but I guess if you're not going to make the playoffs, you might as well see what the young kid can do. Anyway, I think that'll do it. We'll come back. Suarez injured for 2 months. Send him to the club doctor. That's going to hurt. He might miss the Olympic or the World Cup. That's too bad. Might be his only chance to get there, and he is out. Injury woe for Reggie Cannon. That's no good. Okay, so we'll figure all this out. We'll come back for the playoffs and then the World Cup. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.